Won last night 7-3 with 5 solo home runs. The only homer hit by the Braves last night was Johan Camargo, who is back in the Toyota starting lineup, batting 8th and playing third base. And Joe, for Atlanta to go where they want to go, got to get the top 2 guys going. The 1 and 2 spots, no matter who they are for the Braves, really in an extended slump at the plate right now.
Need some table setters. Somebody, either the top of the order or bottom of the order. Somebody's got to get hot and start setting things up for the middle of the order, because Freddie and Markakis are still swinging the bat real well. So are Suzuki and Flowers. Tyler's in there tonight, so they'll go after Alex Wood. 1-4, 4.48 ERA. These are his numbers last year, folks, or since the start of 2017, I should say. 17-7, and last year he was 9th in the Cy Young voting. He went 16-3 for Los Angeles, a 2.72 ERA. Made a couple of starts for them in the postseason as well. Fastball, changeup, curveball, velocity. That's what we'll keep an eye on tonight, because it's supposed to be off a little bit, and he's been upstairs with his changeup and breaking ball and not getting those ground balls like he used to.
Last year, Alex started the year 11-0 for Los Angeles. What a way to begin the 2017 year. He has modified his windup. We'll talk about that as the game progresses. As Ozzie Albies digs in, and we are underway with a strike. Angel Hernandez behind the plate. As you saw our opening shot, you can see the shadows here at Dodger Stadium. A big arc of sunshine from the first base line curling out toward left center field and directly out to the 395 sign. Joe, what effect does that have on the hitters, and what, if any, advantage will the pitchers have to start?
They're going to have a definite advantage for a couple of innings. And right now, because it's bright behind Alex Wood and eventually behind Anibal Sanchez, it's going to be hard to pick the ball up because it's being thrown in a shadow.
Quickly, 2 strikes for Ozzie, and that's bang foul and out of play. Ozzie is going through his first extended stretch of difficulty at the plate. He's 3 for his last 41 and 12 for his last 69, and the other kicker just 4 walks. And he's got to fight back from an 0-2 count from Alex Wood. The pitch is way up and away.
There's been a bit of a pattern too as far as how they are pitching him. Up and in, trying to tie him up, and then soft away, get him to reach.
Good battle to start. To see Ozzie seeing a few pitches here.
The description for Alex's location problems have been that whereas he's normally from the knees down to, you know, maybe 4, 5, 6 inches below the knees, this year it's been more from the knees up. He's been throwing 6 or 8 inches above the knee, and that's why he's been getting hit. That was a change up. Great guy, 27 years old now, 6'4", 210, out of Charlotte. Braves second round pick in 2012.
And a little nubber. Albies a very awkward swing, but got a piece of that to stay alive.
Told this story many times about the Braves scouting Alex Wood, and Paul Snyder, the Braves Hall of Fame scout, said, well, if you sign him, if you draft and sign him, don't change him. He's got an unorthodox delivery, but it's his, and don't try to make him into something he's not. The Braves followed that advice.
That hits Wood in the back as he turned after making the delivery. And after it hit him right between the 5 and the 7, Albies is retired for out number 1. An 8-pitch at bat for the first out.
You know what? I think Alex was kind of trying to do that. Turned his back to it, tried to stop it, and he did. Nice recovery.
That pitch was up, but he got away with it. Here's Dansby Swanson. Dansby getting his 3rd straight start in the number 2 spot for the Braves. He doubled and scored in the 6th inning last night.
Hit the ball hard 3 times.
Against his former college teammate Walker Buehler, who left with rib soreness. And that missed inside, ball 1. Wood coming off a rough start against the Rockies on Sunday. 2 innings, 6 runs, 5 hits. But a no decision for him. The pitch is hammered down the line, out of play. And the count even 1-1. The Braves' number 2 hitters of late. Swanson, Camargo, Albies have combined to go 4 for their last 40. Again, Freddie Freeman's been hitting an awful lot with nobody on out of the number 3 spot for Atlanta. Nobody on, 1 out. As Dansby takes an high strike.
Angel Hernandez calling balls and strikes tonight. I believe it's the first time the Braves have seen him this year. We'll see what Angel brings to the table tonight. Could be anything.
Wood brings it, and Dansby chased it. 2 up, 2 down. Alex Wood has his first strikeout, and Dansby has punched out 58 times this year.
Freddie Freeman.
Breaking ball down and in. Boy, that was a good one. Good hard one. 2 innings, 5 hits, 6 runs his last time out at Coors Field. Got a no decision. His team won 10-7.
Freddie's had a terrific road trip at the plate, 6 for 17. And starts action with a .336 mark. He swings into the shift on the very first pitch, and Alex Wood breezes through the first inning. 3 up, 3 down. Anibal Sanchez to face the hot-hitting Dodgers next. More than that tonight, coming off an excellent start against Washington.
Take a look at these situational numbers for Anibal so far. They've been really tough, especially with runners in scoring position and 2 out. Men in scoring position. His 4 keys tonight: Yardbird. Keep them in the yard. They are on a home run binge, the Dodgers, and he's made great adjustments since the last couple of years when he struggled with the Tigers. He has really become quite a pitcher and using his best stuff to his advantage.
And his night will start facing Chris Taylor, the Dodgers shortstop, batting .249. Taylor came on midway through the game last night, recorded 2 at-bats, and was hitless. He replaced Yasiel Puig in the middle of the lineup. Puig back in there tonight and batting 5th. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike.
See that 91 fastball? That's about where he will sit with his 4-seamer, 91 to 92. He can bump it a little higher if he wants.
Outside corner, called a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Chris Taylor. One of those unfamiliar names who has worn out Atlanta the last couple of years. Taylor, Muncy, and Kemp, the first 3 Dodgers. And now a full count. Albee saw 8 pitches against Alex Wood. Taylor's going to see a 6th. And that was fouled off of Tyler Flowers. It's a break for Sanchez. Looked like it was going to be ball 4.
Sure was. Oh, off the knob of the bat.
So another payoff pitch is called a strike, and Taylor's rung up. Looks like a big strike zone to start tonight. Nothing wrong with that as long as it stays that way. And the ball off to a good start. 1 down.
That'll help both these pitchers, Chip. And if Angels calling that low strike, that'll help both Alex Wood and Anibal.
That brings up Max Muncy. What a surprise this guy has been. He was called up from the minor leagues on April 19th, and he has hit 10 home runs for Los Angeles. Max Muncy had a grand total of 5 career homers in 96 big league games before this season.
Crazy how that works out.
Played a lot of first base in the minor leagues. Had a couple of 40 and 50 game stints with the Oakland A's. Then the Dodgers got him, and he's become a different player. As that one's taken low, 2 balls and a strike.
Claimed he never got any real consistent opportunities in Oakland. He would. In fact, when he first got called up, he sat for 10 days before he played.
Lifted deep to right. That's going to jump out of here, and the Dodgers are bashing again. That's the 79th home run hit by Los Angeles, tied for first with Milwaukee, and their 23rd homer in their last 7 games and 1 inning.
Right up on top of the plate. He covered that outer third pitch. Change up. Not a good one. And another ball hit at Dodger Stadium up near that walkway halfway up the bleachers. Incredible.
Matt Kemp, the batter, at .347 on the season. Kemp still leads the National League in hitting despite a 1-for-4, 3 strikeout night last night. Well, how about Muncy filling in for Justin Turner, whose wrist is still bothering him. And now Kemp shoots one up the middle. Ozzie knocked it down. Kemp the runner, long throw, strong arm, and he got him. 2 outs. Ozzie in the right place at the right time. And here's Bellinger.
Yeah, he gave some ground here, but he made the play knowing he had a slow runner going.
Joe, you played here. You were a former Dodger. I'm with you. I can't remember a time when the ball appeared to be jumping like it is here.
Never. I certainly didn't play here as long as Rick Mundy did, but I talked to him about it again today. And he was talking about the ball that Bellinger hit last night that was above the walkway. And he said, you know, if anybody hit one like that, even in batting practice would come to a stop and admire it. There's Mo. if guys hit home runs during the season, if it was a regular game and it reached the seats, that was considered a blast here.
1-1 pitch. And a ground ball hit towards second. Ozzy's got that. And the Dodgers cash in a high changeup for a home run from Max Muncy, his 11th of the year. And LA strikes first. It's 1-0.
It's now time for 60 years of Dodger baseball in LA.
And vote for Nick Markakis and your favorite Brave for the Midsummer Classic, which will be played in Washington, D.C. this July. 1-0. Dodgers have the lead. And Nick Markakis certainly worthy of his first All-Star appearance with great first half numbers. Most hits, fewest strikeouts per at bat, and the 5th highest batting average. So Alex Wood, Joe, stake to a rare lead. He's up 1-0 after 1 inning. And he's got Markakis, Flowers, and Culberson coming up.
Yeah, he didn't get a ton of run support, but one to work with already.
Line toward the right center field gap. That's going to get down and bounce off the warning track and up against the fence. And Markakis in at second base. Nobody at the bag. And there's the first Atlanta hit. Old reliable Nick Markakis with his 19th double. And the Braves have the tying run in scoring position to start the second inning.
I love that. Old reliable. That's good. Up and in. Turned on it. Another misplaced changeup, this time by Alex Wood. And Nick almost hit that out. And a 50th career double. That's a big one.
I think he'll like the reliable part. The old part might have a little chat with Nick about after the game. But it's said with great respect. Here's Tyler Flowers. He's done good work against lefties. Let's see if he can chase Markakis home, or at the very least get him to third base. Tried to shoot one to right, and that's fouled off. Last night the Braves went 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. In what was a 3-0 game, they had a run in and a runner at second with nobody out in the 5th, and that's all Atlanta could get. It was a big sequence, as was the 7th inning. 2 on, nobody out, and Liberatore came on in relief, got a double play and a strikeout to end that Braves threat.
Big turning point in the game, that double play.
Tyler's 5 for 8 in his career against Alex Wood. The shadows are just about finished, with the exception of right center field. But my point is, pitcher, catcher, hitter, center fielder, looks to be the same sight line. Not the bright glaring sunshine 1 inning ago.
Well, Muncy saw it okay.
Yeah.
And Nick saw it okay. But they both got mistakes to pick on.
All three. If Alex Wood is trying to get Tyler Flowers to chase, I think he might be picking at the wrong guy. Tyler has shown exceptionally good patience at the plate for the Braves. 14 walks, 68 at bats this year. Remember, he missed a good long time with that oblique problem suffered on opening day. Good pitch to hit here, 3-1. And he does hit it toward right field. Puig will be chased back. That ball carried to the edge of the warning track. Markakis on his way to third. Puig's throw off target. And a productive out for Tyler Flowers puts the tying run 90 feet away for Charlie Culberson.
See, that looked just like a routine fly ball.
And it just kept going.
And I was concerned that with Puig's arm, it may not be deep enough, and it did keep going and backed him up close to the track. Nice job by Tyler.
Special moment for Charlie Culberson today in the hallway outside the Braves clubhouse. Andrew Friedman, Stan Kasten, Dave Roberts brought Charlie his National League Championship ring from the Dodgers and presented it to him before the game today. And Dave Roberts said to Charlie, "Thank you for a job well done, and what a big part of the Dodgers postseason run he was." That was really neat. Jeff Francoeur and I were making our way to the press box and happened to walk down the hallway, and there they were, and they said, "No, you can stay." And hugs all around.
That's a great thing.
Really neat.
I know it was a really proud moment for Charlie. We've talked about how he really filled a big void for them at shortstop during the NLCS when Seager was hurt.
1-0 pitch. And of course, you know what Francoeur said to Dave Roberts and Charlie. "I'll go out and get 3 hits and hit a home run again."
Yeah.
Braves will take a deep fly ball right here with Markakis at third. 1-0 Dodgers. Charlie batting .253. The pitch. Breaking ball, and he missed it.
Good inside breaking ball. That back foot breaking ball has been a good one for him. Got Swanson with it.
The LA infield is in. The pitch. And that's driven out of play to the right. Had a great crowd here last night. 47,000. And Joe asked the question, is Dodger Stadium the biggest potential attendance site in the big leagues? And we're told the answer is yes. Capacity here 56,000. Rogers Center in Toronto just north of 49,000. The 2-2. There's the breaking ball, but it's fouled away. Charlie's still alive.
Really lucky to get a piece of that again. The same breaking ball down and in. A strikeout here would be huge for Alex Wood. He thought he had it.
If he touched that ball, it was microscopically so. But he's got a new life. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Alex went to it again, but missed badly. Full count. Ender and Ciarte on deck for Atlanta. Braves start the second with a leadoff double.
I'd be kind of surprised if he throws him a fastball here.
He didn't. It seems to me too that's a pattern over the last couple of weeks. The Braves have been jumping all over fastballs, but they're not getting an awful lot of them.
No, especially early in the count.
So Wood has gone to that breaking ball a lot in this sequence with Culberson. Again, he delivers a 3-2. And it's lined up the middle, a base hit. So Charlie Culberson has one of those hits and RBIs. Markakis trots home, and Atlanta evens the score at 1-1.
Good at bat.
Center fielder number 11.
Hung in there, fouled that one pitch off. That was amazing that he was able to do that, and then did get a fastball there and banks it through the middle. And it was up.
So Joe, your scouting report on Wood, right on the money. That's not an Alex Wood-like pitch. So the Braves cash in another mistake, and Culberson's aboard with one in and one out. Here's Ender. Lefty-lefty matchup for the Braves center fielder, and lefties have been giving him trouble. Inciarte hitting .217 against them this year.
I'm glad to see him take that pitch, even though it was a strike. You know, not be in a rush. He, Freddie, Ozzie, notorious first pitch swingers, and sometimes not at strikes.
Ender did record a hit last night. That came in the 7th inning. His second hit so far on the road trip. And Wood to first, Culberson back standing up. Braves have seen a lot of left-handers. That has also slowed their running game. The Braves have been a very aggressive base running, base stealing team this year. But they're in a stretch facing a lot of left-handed starters, which makes it tougher for that man at first base. Ender leads the club in steals with 18, but with his offensive slide, he hasn't been on base all that much. Like Albies, Ender also not walking. But he's ahead in the count here, 2-1. The stretch and the 2-2 is hit in the air to center and right at Jock Peterson, who hardly had to move, and Ciarte's retired. 2 outs.
Third baseman number 17, Johan Camargo.
And the Braves third baseman Johan Camargo is going to hit.
He smoked the ball here last night right-handed.
Right over the 395 sign in center field. Thought Kike Hernandez was going to bring it back with a great leaping try at the wall, but no such luck as Camargo ripped his 6th homer. And that's upstairs, ball 1. One-oh pitch.
It's a good
That's
pitch.
even. One and two.
Surprised Johan a little bit. Very little pause from Alex as he came set, fired to the plate.
Again, he tried that inside breaking ball to a right-hand hitter, but missed with it.
This is the kind of inning we got used to seeing from the Braves early on. You know, Tyler Flowers worked the count a little bit, got a pitch he could handle, 3-1 for the fly ball. Charlie with a long extended at bat. Now back to 2-2 for Camargo.
And pitch number 38 taken low for a full count, so Camargo will watch Culberson take off from first with 2 down. And at the very least, if he can get aboard here. You clear the pitcher, Sanchez. Braves have tied the game 1-1. There goes the runner. The pitch is hammered down the left field line and into the upper deck.
He got that breaking ball.
And he's been hitting home runs aplenty of late. Johan Camargo, our Georgia lottery, hitting the jackpot feature.
And he's hitting them at a Dodger type pace, I should say. 4 homers, 8 RBIs his last 12 games.
He protected the plate there. And Culberson back to first. Braves need a win to maintain a share of first place. The Nationals were victorious today, 7-5 over the Giants at Nationals Park. So far at the moment, Washington 1/2 game ahead of Atlanta. The Phillies lost again. The pitch hammered into left field, a base hit. Charlie will make the turnaround second on his way to third. Kemp gets to it on the warning track, and everybody will freeze. It's a sliding double for Camargo. And Atlanta in business, second and third with 2 outs. And Anibal Sanchez a chance to help himself. Another long and this time productive at bat by Johan Camargo.
It's a good thing that Matt Kemp cut that ball off before it got to the fence. Otherwise, Ron Washington would have waved Charlie Culberson home. Another off-speed pitch. Johan's all over it, scalded it. Nice play by Kemp to get it in quickly.
So let's see what Anibal can do. He takes the strike. Alex Wood is leaving a lot of pitches in the happy zone here in the first 2 innings. The Braves have a run on 3 hits against him this inning. And his pitch count is alarmingly high. And we've talked at length already in this series about how much bullpen work the Dodgers have had to use in the last week. Foul back. Alex Wood threw 13 pitches in the first inning. He's thrown 30 here in the second.
It's a warm night too.
The 0-2 pitch. Way outside.
What was it? 98, 99 degrees for game 1 here last year. Horribly hot.
.77 degrees at first pitch tonight. 1-2 is taken for strike 3. A very long inning for Alex Wood that saw the Braves send 6 to the plate, a run on 3 hits. Charlie Culberson ties the game with his RBI single.
the Georgia Lottery. And by Synovus, the bank of here.
Pretty night in Los Angeles. Charlie Culberson, the former Dodger, was welcomed warmly yesterday during pregame introductions. And you know, you just can't show enough class. How about this?
That's one of his buddies, I'm sure, from when he played here that he got to know. And was happy to see him again.
That's a very good baseball player and a very good human being.
Well, it explains why, when you talk to a lot of the Dodgers broadcasters and other personnel, that he quickly had become one of their favorite players on the team last year, but also one of their favorite Dodgers ever.
So Charlie's single brings home Nick Markakis. Our game tied 1 apiece. Yasiel Puig is the 5th place hitter on Dave Roberts' Toyota starting lineup. We'll see if Puig can hustle and not make any base running mistakes for the Dodgers, and therefore maybe play all 9 tonight.
Yeah, the word last night was that getting picked off and being very nonchalant about the way he caught a fly ball in shallow right field did not sit well with Dave Roberts.
Puig went 1 for 2, drove in a run in the first inning against Brandon McCarthy with a bloop single, and then was picked off to end the inning. Puig has been a Braves killer. 4 homers, 11 RBIs, 13 runs in 25 games against the Braves. And he took another strike. 0-2. And Angel Hernandez calling that low strike tonight. There's a little of that Louis Tiant action from Sanchez.
Love it.
Puig had a 28 homer year last year for the Dodgers. He's hit 7 this year. Yasiel now 27 years old. Flowers wanted that pitch high, but Hernandez didn't call that one.
Yeah, he's calling the low one, but so far he hasn't given too many of the high ones, but not too many guys have laid off that pitch.
So the 2-2 lifted toward left. Charlie Culberson came charging in, now backpedals a step or two, and Puig's retired. 1 out. Every time a ball goes in the air, quite frankly, your heart sort of leaps to your throat because you just don't know how deep it's going to go.
No. This guy fooled us twice last night to almost the same part of the ballpark, straightaway center.
Yasmani Grandal, a 2-homer game. He entered with a 3 for 20 slide for Los Angeles. And that's taken up and away. 1 ball, no strikes. He did say after the game that he felt his knowledge of Brandon McCarthy really helped him in those first 2 at bats. Caught a corner. Beautiful pitch. 1-1 your count.
Great off-speed pitch. He's got a bit of an unusual stance, and the way he, not the stance, but the way he holds his bat, his elbows are almost pointed in opposite directions. His back elbow very flat, parallel to the ground. His left one, once he gets ready to hit, pointed almost at the pitcher. Works for him.
Grandal came over in a rare interdivision trade from the San Diego Padres. Grandal came over with Zach Eflin and Joe Weiland for Matt Kemp, Tim Fedorovich, and Cash. The pitch. Strike three called. He got the corner again. Down and away. Grandal ought not be complaining. That's been called a strike for both Wood and Sanchez, and he's the Dodger catcher. 2 out.
Like a backdoor breaking pitch. Actually, not so. Two-seamer. Right on the right spot.
2 up, 2 down for Anibal. Jock Peterson, the batter. Six homers in his last 6 games, 7 in total. One thing that you notice when you look at Peterson's batting record and his numbers this year is how his strike zones are, or strikeouts I should say, are dramatically lower. In 2015 he had 26 homers. Drove in 54 runs, mostly out of the leadoff spot, but punched out a whopping 170 times. Last year struck out 68 times in 102 at bats, but still a low average.
Yeah, they were sending him back to AAA at times last year. That's why he didn't accumulate many at bats. For basically the same reason. Too many whiffs.
Of those 11 home runs, 10 came against right-handed pitchers. He had a good postseason, and he rips this one to right. Markakis on the run, tracked it down on the track. What a great running catch by Nick Markakis, who just saved a double and maybe more. That's an all-star caliber defensive play by Nick Markakis.
Vote for the guy, folks. Come on.
Pretend it's Chicago. Vote more than once. 1-1 score. Game of 3 between the Braves and the Dodgers. Alex Wood threw 32 second inning tosses. Let's see if he's worn down just a bit. As the ball got loose in center field, Jock Peterson will clean that up, I think. Nope. Oh man.
Thought he had Eric Young disease there for a second. Couldn't get over the fence.
A bunt try. It's a beauty. Wood pounces, fires, and got him by a half step.
Boy,
excellent idea.
Great athletic play by Alex. I thought that was a base hit. Softened it nicely. Bare hand pickup and setup. Nicely done. A little help there from Bellinger too.
Love that Ozzie tried it. Tip your cap to Wood, made a great play. Here's Swanson, who struck out his first time up. And that missed inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Phillies lost today. Milwaukee beat them 12-3.
Golly.
Ji-Man Choi hit a pinch hit grand slam, and the Brewers scored the last 10 runs in unanswered fashion today at the Bank Vault. Phillies are sliding. They've lost 10 of their last 13 games after taking over first place for one day in the Eastern Division race. So the Phillies now just 2 games over 500 and 32-30 on the year. 2-0 for Dansby. And that in for a strike.
Painted some there. Nice fastball again, bottom of the zone.
A lot of hitters are grumbling. As I said, it's a big strike zone so far tonight.
That was higher than I thought.
The 2-2 is downstairs. Dave Roberts, former Dodger, led LA to the World Series last year. Trying to get back this, as that's out of play. Dansby Swanson batting for the second time is our Synovus Greatness Made Here feature.
He's on the uptick. Last 5 games, 5 runs scored, 4 extra base hits, good numbers. Hitting a little over 230 since he came back from the disabled list, but those numbers will tell you that he's beginning to come around. It's good to see. He's been hitting the ball hard too, without much luck.
That's into the camera well at the end of the Dodger dugout. 3-2. Max Muncy hit a first inning home run off Sanchez, make it 1-0 LA. Nick Markakis led off the second with a double. Charlie Culberson singled through a drawn in infield to tie it. That's where we stand. Braves are making Alex Wood work. Ground ball right to Forsythe, who boots it. That'll help. A rare error by the Dodgers, have been an excellent defensive team if memory serves.
7th error for him. And they're in pretty much the lower third, Chip.
I stand corrected.
Defensively as a team. That one just rolled right up his arm.
Yeah, that's 7 errors on Forsythe. After they played last night and the Braves were hitting the ball into all those shifts, looked like they had 5 infielders, not 4. So there's a break, a man on in front of Freddie Freeman, who's 0 for 1 tonight. Another shift on for him. And he rifles one to right field over the shift. And Dansby will throw out an anchor at second base. And the Braves have 2 on with 1 out.
Number 22, Nick Markakis.
Freddie's now hitting 20 of 21 games. Had his hitting streak stopped at 16. Now he's hitting 4 in a row since that was snapped. That had a lot of top spin.
They haven't figured out a shift yet that will stop Freddie Freeman.
No. They keep trying.
So a chance for the Braves to take their first lead. Markakis doubled leading off the second. And Atlanta hits lefties well, as we showed you. And the trio of Freddie Freeman, Ender Inciarte, and Nick Markakis came into this game 14 for 30 lifetime against Alex Wood. So far, that trio's combined to go 2 for 4 tonight. No balls and a strike. Great chance for Atlanta. The pitch. And Grandal smothers that. Tyler Flowers on deck for the Braves. Markakis in the box. Good speed aboard for Atlanta as Wood turns it loose. The runners are going. The pitch is low. The throw to third late. A double steal. There's that base running for Atlanta. He can't steal first, but Atlanta's stolen second and third here in the third.
You got to pay attention to the runners. Alex did not give Dansby another look. Dansby kept bouncing, gone. And to his credit, Freddie Freeman, as we've shown you before, watching the runner in front of him to see what he's doing, able to get to second.
Dansby with 3 steals, Freeman with 6. And a golden chance for Markakis. Ground ball up the middle will give Atlanta a run. And the lead. The pitch. And fouled away. 83 hits now for Nick Markakis. Freddie Freeman second in the National League with 82. Scooter Gennett started action tonight with 80. Brian Anderson of the Marlins has 72 hits. Their young right fielder. That's the 4th highest total. And the 2-2. Strike 3. Wood, a surprise party, caught a corner. And Nick Markakis, the toughest guy in the league to strike out, was frozen with that pitch. And a big second out.
This was too close to take. And it looks like it was a strike anyway. That's not one you normally see Nick take.
So let's see if Tyler Flowers can come through with a big 2-out hit. Flowers flied to right. He got Markakis to third in the second inning, and that led to the infield end situation for Culberson, who delivered a game-tying single. An error, a single, a double steal has it set up for the Braves, but now there are 2 out. He's really throwing a lot of pitches. 13 in the first, 32 in the second, 17 more in the third. Alex gave up 5 hits, 6 runs in 2 innings last time out. He's had to labor through the early innings tonight again.
Alex and Grandal are having a hard time settling on a sign. Keeps stepping off. Mercy. Go through some touches with his shin guard and chest protector, mask, and then give some signs. That's all probably an indicator for which one. There's that call again.
Give Angel Hernandez credit. He's been very consistent there. 2 balls and a strike. Almost hit him. So what will Tyler Flowers get here? That inner half breaking ball was Wood's bread and butter in the first 2 innings.
Change up. He can escape this. Now to change the nameplate on his locker to Houdini because of all the pitches he's throwing and only having given up 1 run.
20 pitches so far in the 3rd. Now Alex Reddy with the payoff pitch. Here it is. Swing and a line drive down the left field line. That's down for a hit. 2 runs will score. Tyler Flowers with a big 2-out double, and Atlanta has its first lead.
He had a base open, but he threw him a fastball, made a mistake with it. Tyler made him pay. RBI's 10 and 11, and that was up. Waist high. Nice turn on it by Flowers to put the Braves on top.
So Atlanta cashes in the error, the double steal, with a big 2-out hit from Tyler Flowers, his 6th career hit against Alex Wood. And the Braves now lead 3-1 on 5 hits. And again, Wood has to step off as he and Grandal can't get together on the signs. Charlie Culberson, the batter. He tied the game with his first hit of the night last time up. And a strike. And Joe, you were right about Alex Wood and his velocity. We have not seen that 93, 94 fastball much, if at all, tonight again.
Topped out at 93. I saw it once.
Sharply hit, and that hit Tyler Flowers. He's out. And that's how the 3rd inning ends. We'll never know if Taylor could have made the play, but Tyler Flowers hit with a batted ball to end the inning. You don't see that too often in a big league game. Sharply hit by Culberson, but no luck for him. Braves, though, take the lead. third inning. Beautiful look at the San Gabriel Mountains out beyond the fences here at Dodger Stadium. Tyler Flowers hit by that batted ball from Charlie Culberson. If you want to know what the scoring is on that play, you give Culberson a base hit and the putout goes to the shortstop. He was the closest man to the play defensively. So Charlie has a very interesting 2-for-2 night.
I know this Tyler walked off the field. I know that didn't feel very good either.
So now Anibal Sanchez has been staked to a 2-run lead. He's got Forsythe, Wood, and Taylor coming up. Historically, Sanchez has pitched very well against the Dodgers, and especially so in this ballpark. But for whatever reason, he's never been able to break through and win a game against LA. This is his 6th career start against the Dodgers. As Markakis will chase that one down in the right field corner. And there's the first out. Anibal entered play with a .321 lifetime ERA against Los Angeles. And at Dodger Stadium, counting tonight's work, he's given up just 2 earned runs in his last 13 1/3 innings.
Well, he's got something to work with tonight.
And he set down 6 straight after the Muncy homer. Here's Alex Wood. Alex is a good pitcher. However, he is not a good hitter.
0 for 20.
And 14 of those 20 outs have been strikeouts. And Sanchez will add to that total. He's got 3 whiffs tonight. 7 up, 7 down, and back to the top of the order.
Number 3.
I like the way he didn't mess around. Threw him 3 pitches, got him out of the way, move on.
Taylor took strike 3 to start his night. 70 strikeouts for Chris Taylor. That's most on the Dodgers team. Told you last night, Taylor acquired by LA from Seattle. And what a find, a 21 homer year. In Taylor's major league career before coming to Los Angeles in 2017, he had a grand total of 1 homer. It's very Max Muncy like. Taylor out of Virginia Beach. Played collegiately with the Cavaliers at the University of Virginia 2010 through 2012. We've had some good players come out of that program. Ryan Zimmerman, Mark Reynolds come to mind. And now the 27-year-old Chris Taylor leading off for the Dodgers, batting here with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. He's got a 1-1 count. And Sanchez tried to tie him up. And no swing. It's Bill Miller at first. He'll have the plate here tomorrow as the Braves and Dodgers wrap up the series. Did that get Angel Hernandez on the way by?
I think so.
Tyler Flowers never got leather on it. That grazed right off the top of the umpire's cap of Angel Hernandez. Watch this. Wow.
Yeah, maybe clipped the glove a little bit and deflected it some. Of course, they don't wear helmets. Hope it missed that beanie that's on top of the hat. That would be very painful.
Three balls and a strike. And popped up. Freddie Freeman comes in on the grass. He's under it and he's got it. Shutdown inning for Sanchez, who now nurses a 3-1 lead. He's coming up in the Atlanta fourth.
Looks normal to me.
On the DL since mid-May with the right shoulder sprain. Tonight, Brian Snitker told us that Mike Soroka will be activated Wednesday, and he will start at home versus the Mets. In that last rehab start, Chip and Joe, he went 73 pitches. Snitker said we can expect to see him around 90 on Wednesday.
Sounds like a plan, Kelsey. Always looking forward to seeing him pitch. Ground ball deep short. Taylor, nice play. The throw to first got him. Ender's bad luck continues on a bouncing ball to the shortstop, Taylor.
What a play. I didn't think there was any way he could get Ender. Playing him up the middle, it gets wide of Muncy. Five steps. Oh, goodness.
And a quick out for Alex Wood, who sure could use one. 23 pitches last inning, 68 through 3. And a one pitch out retires Ender as Camargo digs in. Johan doubled in the second. 3-1 Atlanta. Braves batting in the fourth. Anibal Sanchez gave up a first inning run since has retired 8 straight. And that's taken a little low. Kelsey brings up an interesting point with the New York Mets coming to town on Tuesday night. Soroka versus DeGrom on Wednesday. Tuesday it'll be Mike Fultonevich and Zach Wheeler. The Mets can't wait to get out of town. I'll explain after this pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Yankees beat them again today 4-3. That gives the Mets a 10-game home losing streak. The New York Mets have scored a grand total of 6 runs in their last 60 innings.
Yikes.
And the Braves have had excellent luck against New York, winning 7 of the first 10 head-to-head matchups. And a swing and a miss. Camargo's retired on strikes. That is Alex Wood's 4th.
And again, his out pitch tonight is that breaking ball. I thought Camargo got a raw deal on the check swing. He did not ask for help. Just made the call himself that he went around, which it didn't appear that he did. Certainly did on that swing.
Wood has won 1-2-3 inning. That was his first tonight. And a strike to the Braves pitcher, Anibal Sanchez, who took strike 3 in the second inning. 3 runs, 6 hits for Atlanta. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error for Los Angeles.
Two pitchers really going after it offensively tonight. They're combined 0 for 28.
And 0 for 29. I don't think either one of them has even fouled a pitch off yet tonight. Wood has an easy fourth. He needed that. 2, 3, and 4 coming up for LA. Down a pair.
No ketchup on a hot dog for me. I'm a plain Jane dude. I mean, I'll go get a plain burger with just bacon, and I'll just eat a plain hot dog. That's good for me.
Yes, ketchup on a hot dog for sure.
Mustard and onions.
Yes, ketchup on a hot dog.
Yeah, of course, mandatory.
It's either got to be plain or it's either got to be with chili on it.
Yep, ketchup.
Yes, ketchup on a hot dog.
Absolutely. And a hot dog's a hot dog, not a sandwich.
If it's the last thing, yeah, but I prefer mustard.
Right away, Nick.
Yeah.
I'd vote for you again.
Yep, exactly. That's at least 5 votes. What do they put on the Dodger dogs here? Good Lord. Have a hot dog with your ketchup, dude.
A little everything. It's hard to know what he's got on there. Except it's all over him. But he's enjoying it.
Yes. And the Braves are enjoying game 2 a lot more than game 1. They lead 3-1 behind brilliant work from Anibal Sanchez. Turner Flowers with a 2-run double put the Braves in front. Muncy the only Dodger to touch the plate. That's because he touched off a home run his first time up in the opening inning. 23rd homer hit by the Dodgers in their last 7 games plus tonight. Missed inside from Anibal. 1 ball, no strikes.
When in doubt, just shove the whole thing in there and be done with it.
We're told the Dodger dogs for the press corps will be available around the 5th inning tonight.
They're always good.
Yep.
Especially with mustard.
1 ball, 1 strike. One of Joe's funniest lines of the year when we had the discussion about hot dogs and hamburgers and the proper condiments. Question came around about mayonnaise on a hamburger, and my partner came unglued. He said, "Yeah, if you like the Communist Manifesto." So true. The pitch. That's a little low. Ball 3. Don't want to walk Muncy, not with Kemp and Bellinger coming up in this part of the order. A dangerous pitch is coming up. Here it is. And he floats that baby in. at 78 miles an hour.
That's two really good 3-1 pitches he's made on Dodger hitters tonight for strikes. One that for a strike, the other for an out.
And he just missed there. Flowers came out of the chute ready to fire it down the line to third. He thought he had his man struck out. So that snaps the 8-in-a-row retired streak. Muncy aboard. And that one, I guess, a little too low. So first walk for Anibal tonight. And Matt Kemp, the batter, the league's leading hitter. Ozzie made a nice play up the middle. Take away a hit for Kemp his first time up. At 1 for 5 in the series, has struck out 3 times. Ground ball hit left side. Dansby's got it. There's one. Ozzie with a strong throw to first. It's in time, a double play.
Nice job. Both guys. Dansby got rid of it quickly, and Ozzie, knowing that it was slowly developing, stepped back from the bag. It was not a real easy target. He stepped back to the right field side and got a little more on his throw. He has a good arm. That was a slick double play, fellas.
So now the best Bellinger can do is make it a 1-run game. He rolled out his first time up. Bellinger has homered in his last 4 Dodger games consecutively. He's up to 12 long balls this year.
Must be some gnats down there tonight. Everybody's waving their hands in front of themselves to clear them out of the way.
Oh no, gnatitudes come to the West Coast.
I think so.
The 1-0 pitch on a corner. Last time a Dodgers homered in 5 or more consecutive games was Jock Peterson, who did it in 2015. And that missed badly. 3 balls and a strike. The all-time record is 8 games in a row, which seems so remarkable. It still is, obviously. Dale Long and Ken Griffey Jr., 2 of the men that share that record. Swing and a miss. Don Mattingly, the former Yankee and current Marlins manager, the other man to do it.
When we show you this shot from center field, look where Bellinger's head lines up with the fans in back of him. Pretty much between that lady in blue and the guy in white.
He wanted time and didn't get it.
By the time he gets finished, his head is somewhere down near the top of the railing. By the time he bends his knees and goes into his swing. Well, that's a lot of movement for your eyes.
And a swing and a miss. Sanchez issues a leadoff walk, a double play, and a strikeout. Sends us to the 5th with the top of the order coming up. Now open and exclusively online. Make sure your favorite Braves are represented by voting at braves.com/vote. And catch all the excitement of the 89th All-Star Game, which is presented by MasterCard, July 17th, live on Fox. Nationals Park will be the site of this year's All-Star Game. Albies retired by the pitcher twice. Last time he tried to bunt, it was a beauty. A great play by Alex Wood robbed him of a hit. And that pitch taken in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Alex Wood had a much needed easy inning in the 4th inning with the lower third of the order. He got 3 outs on 8 pitches. He's now thrown 78 as he starts his 5th inning. The 1-1 over the screen and out of play.
Well, they're not out of the woods yet in terms of getting some relief for their relief corps. Last 7 games before tonight, starting pitchers had worked 36+ innings. The bullpen 61+ innings.
That's amazing, isn't it?
It's amazing in that they've won 16 out of 21.
Right. Well, 4 of their initial starters disabled. And Albies couldn't check his swing. He's rung up. Again, Angel Hernandez does not appeal often to the base umpires on those check swings, and Wood got the call. That's 3 strikeouts in a row and 6 total.
Yeah, he did.
The Dodgers gifted Atlanta a run thanks to an E4 off the bat of Dansby Swanson. Later stole 3rd and came home on Flowers' 2-run double back in inning number 3. And a shot the other way by Dansby. That's a little more like what we saw in the opening weeks of the season. Swanson plugs a hole on the right side and is aboard in front of Freddie.
Yeah, good swing.
And Freddie is our Yellowwood brand, bringing the lumber feature.
He does bring the lumber feature quite often. His lumber feature oftentimes is extra base hits and RBIs.
He singled to right and stole 2nd. Back into that double steal for the Braves. And Alex Wood pitches him away. 1 ball, no strikes. Washington won earlier tonight. The Braves need to win to stay tied atop the East. They lead 3-1. And now ball 2. Braves this year are 11-10 against left-handed starting pitchers. Freeman and Markakis have driven home 37 of the 88 RBIs against southpaws this year for Atlanta. So the point is, here in this spot, you've got the right guys at the right time coming up trying to extend this lead.
Freddie was able to top spin hook one over the infield and over the shift his last time up. He's got a lot of room in left center if he wants to go back to his bread and butter if Alex keeps pitching him away. Moving away again.
I don't envy Alex making this pitch.
I'm not sure. Of course, he's working out of the stretch now, but his windup looks like a stretch. I'm not sure why it would change after such a tremendous year last year.
3-1 count, and Freddie pops it into shallow center. Taylor out, Peterson in, it drops. Everybody's safe. It looked like Peterson whiffed on that ball.
It looked like one of the guys who throw their glove in the air to try to deke the runner, and it almost hit him. With the background here, sometimes it's tough to track the baseball. Got a good jump. Watch him throw his glove in the air. Dropped in front of him a good distance. Dansby's watching him and had to freeze to make sure that it dropped. Freddie will take that hit.
You bet. So he's 2 for 3. That brings up Markakis. 2 on, 1 out. Markakis took strike 3, a pitch over the outside corner. And the Dodger bullpen begins to go to work again. That's Pedro Baez. Well, you can time with a sundial.
Yeah.
One of the slowest working relievers in the game. And now Baez sits down. It's Yimi Garcia. Braves have 8 hits. The Dodgers have 1 tonight. Pickoff play, and safely back is Dansby at second. Atlanta tonight 3 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Their 3rd hit, that odd play that saw a batted ball hit Tyler Flowers running the bases. That was the Braves' 3rd that saw them take the lead. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's where Alex went to get Nick his last time up.
Yeah, he's not picking that pitch up too well. Looks outside to him, and it's staying on the plate enough for Angel Hernandez.
Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Little chopper hit towards second. The back flip to second, 1 throw to first late. Freeman went in hard at second base. He's forced out. Swanson to third. Markakis at first. 2 outs. And Tyler Flowers coming up again.
Pretty nice play here by Forsythe. Nice feed.
But clearly safe. Braves have 3 runs tonight. 2 of those 3 have come with 2 outs. The Braves have 135 2-out runs this year. Can Flowers provide another one to extend the lead? We're about to find out. A base hit to right. He came through. Swanson scores to make it a 4-1 game.
You go, Flo. Couple of nice hits to right field by the Braves this inning. Dansby to get it started going the other way, and now Tyler for an RBI. Nice job. Dave Roberts on his way to the mound.
And that'll be the end of the line for Alex Wood. The Braves continue to touch him up. For Alex Wood, that is 15 earned runs in roughly 20 innings of work against his former club. He departs trailing by 3 as Atlanta continues here in the top of the 5th.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention.
Fifth inning tonight in Los Angeles. 4-1 your score so far.
Visit Synovus for your banking, lending, and investing needs. Synovus, the bank of here.
Yimi Garcia is the second Dodger pitcher. Garcia did not play last year for LA, coming back from Tommy John surgery.
So far this year, 12 innings, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts. That's good work. But lefties having a little better luck against him than right-handers. He throws hard, 92 to 95 with a slider and a change.
Charlie Culberson, Freddie Freeman, Ender Inciarte, the only Braves that have faced him. Charlie in the box with a 2-hit night, including an RBI. He's 1 for 3 against Garcia. First and second, 2 outs. And this one's also served up the middle. Long throw to first, and not in time. Everybody's safe. Charlie Culberson's 3 for 3 tonight.
Center fielder, Ender Inciarte.
Well, you give the guy a ring and he has a perfect night at the plate.
He does. He hit Tyler Flowers the last time up for what's credited a hit. Now I hit him where they ain't. Ground ball. And outran the throw.
It's the third 3-hit game for Charlie Culberson as a big leaguer. And now a chance for serious damage. And a bouncy ball right to the first baseman, Bellinger. And that's the inning. Atlanta adds on a 5th inning run. They do that with 4 hits. 4-1 Braves halfway through game 2. To the Braves we'll see next in Atlanta after we wrap up this series with the Dodgers. That 2-game set starts Tuesday night at SunTrust Park. Here in LA, Anibal Sanchez has a 1-hitter working.
I will say this for the Dodgers. They've given up 10 hits, but only 4 runs. They're still in the ball game, especially with their penchant for home runs. They get back in it in a hurry.
Yasiel Puig leads off the home 5th. He flied out to left to start his night. Puig 1 for 3 so far in the series. Wood gave up 4 runs. Only 2 of the 4 were earned. No walks, 6 strikeouts. Dodgers are in their bullpen already. Sanchez going strong. His 57th is roped into center. Ender on the run, can't get it. It's a leadoff single for Yasiel Puig with 2 strikes. And that'll bring up Grandal, who struck out looking his lone time up.
0-2 pitch. He was going to try to bust that fastball to the outside corner, but left it out over the middle of the plate. Second straight inning they've had the leadoff man on.
Last time that leadoff man erased on a double play. Let's see if Grandal will oblige with the same here.
Or if Puig will get picked off again.
That's also a possibility. You never know. Second Dodger hit. It comes leading off the fifth. A floater is fouled at the plate by Grandal. Strike one. Cubs won today. They beat the Pirates again. Pittsburgh is sliding badly. They've lost 16 of their last 21 games. John Lester in the Cubs bullpen one hit him today. And Chicago putting serious heat on Milwaukee. Cubs and Brewers separated by 1/2 game in the Central. St. Louis 3 games back after the Redbirds beat Cincinnati 6-4 today. Something I failed to mention last night, our condolences to the Cardinal family, as Red Schoendienst, great Hall of Famer who played also with the Milwaukee Braves, passed away in St. Louis a couple of days ago.
At age 95. Wonderful, nice man. Great baseball player and a Hall of Famer.
One ball, 2 strikes for Yasmani Grandal, the Dodger catcher. And now 2-2.
Well, we saw what he could do with a fastball out away from him last night. A couple of homers to center field. He liked it about belt high and out over the plate.
How about that pitch? A 66-mile-an-hour changeup, and Grandal was way out in front.
Anibal almost recoiled on this. He sold that one beautifully. Oh.
So now Jock Peterson, the batter. Double play still in order. He lined out to right. That was that great catch by Nick Markakis to end the second inning. Big fastballs are fun. It's great to see guys throw 98, 99 miles an hour. Looking at those radar gun readings can be fine. To me, there's nothing more exciting to watch than a guy like Sanchez, as you said, Joe, pitch and get through a lineup and carve them up the way he has done, not just to the Dodgers tonight, but the Nationals in his last start.
He's pitching. Some scouts that saw him pitch in Atlanta against Washington bragged on that effort.
1-0 count. And perhaps in this era where so many guys are throwing in the mid-90s, it's guys like Anibal Sanchez that are becoming more and more special because of their ability to change speeds and get hitters off balance. He scattered just 2 hits so far tonight. 2-0 count. And Peterson off stride there. Little pop, long run. Can anybody get there? No. The ball gets behind Culberson, and everybody's going to try to move up. The throw to third is going to be not in time. Puig got to third. Johan Camargo handled that relay throw. Thought he got the tag down. Angel Hernandez had a great look at it, and Peterson dumped one into no man's land, and he's at second base. And Atlanta's going to take a look at the play at third.
Everybody was going for the ball. Nobody was there to back up. DeMargo went back with the tag. That was kind of telltale that he didn't get him the first time. And he's still on the base.
So no challenge by Atlanta. And the Dodgers have second and third, one out. Logan Forsythe, the batter. So the Puig single on a 2-strike count, the Grandal strikeout, and then Peterson the bloop double. And it's the first threat for Los Angeles tonight against Anibal Sanchez, who's quickly ahead 0-1.
Forsythe had some good numbers against him facing him in the American League. 5 for 9 with a homer. Flied out his first time up.
Little tapper up the middle. Ozzie gloves, grabs, guns to first, stretch in time. Puig will score on the slow roller. That makes it a 4-2 game. Forsythe's 9th RBI and his first of this series.
That looked like that was going to be a little bit of a no man's land type infield hit until Ozzie made a good play on him.
And so the Dodgers will take Yimi Garcia down now. Breivik Valera is going to come on and pinch hit. Our first look at him. Valera, a switch hitter, is 0 for 6 as a pinch hitter. And on a night when they honor Manny Mota with his bobblehead night, hopefully a Dodger pinch hitter won't come through here. There's a strike. 1-1 your count. You look at the splits for Sanchez. First time, second time, third time through the batting order. It's the second time where he's had the most trouble. That's where the Dodgers are right now. Opponents hitting 103 against him the first time, 314 the second time, and then after that, very little luck the third time through. But now he's gone 3-1. Top of the order lurking for Los Angeles. Big crowd starts to get into it.
He wants him to put it in play. He doesn't want to face Taylor.
He did put it in play, but he hit it right to Ozzie. And that takes care of Los Angeles. A bloop double leads to an LA run, but the Braves are still in command. It's a 4-2 score after 5.
places. And by SunTrust. Confidence starts here.
Dodger fans aren't smiling tonight, at least not yet. 4-2 Atlanta. We've completed 5 innings here in Los Angeles. And as Atlanta enters the 6th inning, it'll be Pedro Baez coming on to pitch. He's had a nice run of late for LA. Just 2 earned runs over his last 10 innings in relief with 8 strikeouts.
A lot of walks mixed in there and just under 30 innings of work. Excellent fastball, 96 to 98 with a slider and a change.
Baez will start with Camargo, then Anibal Sanchez, then the top of the order and Ozzie Albies. Baez is arguably the slowest working reliever in the game.
.61, 230. 30 years old, out of the Dominican. .66 games last year for the Dodgers and a .295 ERA.
Sharply hit right to second, and from the cut of the grass, Forsythe takes care of Camargo, who's 1 for 3. And Anibal is coming up. He has struck out twice. Baez wants a new baseball as Anibal digs in. I think Grandal's giving him some grief about that 66-mile-an-hour changeup that he threw him.
I have.
Quickly 0-2. A win tonight for Atlanta gives them their 2nd win on the road trip, with a chance to come home 3-3 tomorrow with a victory. They're not there yet, but looking good, leading 4-2. And fouled away. And for whatever reason, as you know by now, the West Coast cities for Atlanta have been absolutely houses of horror for Atlanta. Braves have lost 11 of 14 games here at Dodger Stadium dating back to 2014. They've lost 17 of their last 19 in San Diego, which is hard to believe.
Yeah, just brutal.
The 0-2 pitch. He's way outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Anibal's heart is in his swing, trying to get a hit, but his hind pockets are not.
As I mentioned, the Braves are home to take on the Mets beginning Tuesday night. Then San Diego's in town for 4. A brief 2-game road trip up to Toronto. Then the Braves finish their home portion of the June schedule with Baltimore and Cincinnati before going to St. Louis at the end of June and the start of July. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and a high fastball got him at 95. Good at bat for Sanchez. He gave him a fight, but he's retired. 2 quick outs. And here's Ozzie. 2 ground outs and a strikeout.
3 for his last 34.
LA has a shift on for the Braves second baseman. And he lifts this one into shallow right. Out goes Forsythe, and he makes a gorgeous over-the-shoulder catch.
What a play.
That atones for his fielding error earlier in the game. Forsythe with great range robs Albies of a 2-out hit. Home sixth coming up in LA. And it's presented by Advance Auto Parts. Chip and Joe from Dodger Stadium. 4-2 Atlanta, top of the order for Los Angeles in the sixth. Taylor gets started and takes ball one. You see Taylor's night tonight, 0 for 2. It's fouled off to the right side. Taylor, Muncy, and Kemp. The first three for LA. And that's lifted toward right field. Markakis near the warning track, and the stands hauls it in. So Sanchez, Joe, beginning that third trip through the Dodger order now. As we showed you, those numbers dramatically improved from the second time through the lineup. And he's off to a good start here.
Absolutely he is. I was a little concerned for Nick on that one because it's twilight, and that foul pole down the line is only 330. It can come up into play real quickly.
Muncy's homered and walked against Anibal tonight. The homer came in the first inning. I know we talked about the difficulties of right field at Fenway Park. What are the challenges of playing the outfield in the corners here at Dodger Stadium?
It's the corners. It's not as bad as it used to be, but it's still bad because like so many other ballparks, there's no padding down that goes to the ground. So if the ball gets down in that corner, it can really ricochet. But it used to be curved. You know, when they started encroaching in toward the field to add more seats, it became more of a linear line that paralleled the foul line. So it didn't hook around the foul pole quite as much, or near the pole.
2 balls and a strike. And once he takes outside, 3-1. You've got Kemp waiting on deck. Don't want to bring the tying run to the plate, not with the league's leading hitter in the on-deck circle. The pitch. He lost him. Muncy's aboard for the third time. Twice via walk. The only 2 walks Sanchez has issued in the game. Braves bullpen is working. A.J. Minter and Peter Moylan. Sanchez, a ground ball perhaps away from getting out of this inning. Kemp was doubled up his last time.
Flowers sent to the mound to kill some time.
And that's going to be it. Brian Snitker, after 5 1/3 innings and 81 pitches for Anibal Sanchez, is going to go get Peter Moylan into the game. Great job by Sanchez, who's in line to beat the Dodgers for the first time in his career. He leads 4-2, 1 on, 1 out in a 2-run game. Full appearance against the Dodgers here in LA tonight.
At Rooms to Go, you can go any way you want. Go style, go savings, go today.
And it'll be Peter Moylan versus Matt Kemp, who represents the tying run. Moylan Joe is on for his 28th time.
In for a third of an inning last night, got Kike Hernandez to fly out. Matt Kemp certainly knows him. They're good friends, and he knows how Peter likes to work. See how this works out.
Muncy, the runner at first with 1 out. And he had him flinching with that pitch, strike 1. Matt Kemp 1 for 5 with a strikeout head-to-head against Peter.
Since his base hit his first time up last night, he's gone 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts rather, and a double play.
Either one of those outcomes would be welcome right here. The 1-1 pitch. Rolled foul. Bellinger is on deck. Minter not throwing. He's just flipping the baseball into his glove. Atlanta hoping Kemp will give him 2 for the price of 1 right here.
Yeah, otherwise it's probably 1 and done.
Here it is. And he just did stay alive.
So they've thrown one pretty much at him that he waved at. That one wasn't quite off the plate. He got a piece of it. Now they might try to throw one at the center of the plate and really frisbee it away. when he can't reach. Big guy, long arms, got to get it way out there.
Peter ready. Here comes his 1-2. And he chased it. So there's the second out. And it will be a one and done outing for Peter Moylan. It'll be Minter versus Bellinger.
Perfect pitch.
So Peter retires the only man he's assigned. And Bellinger 0 for 2 will be in the box for Los Angeles. Braves 4, LA 2. The sixth continues after the break.
Xfinity delivers the fastest internet with the best in-home Wi-Fi experience. And by Delta Airlines.
4-2 Braves, bottom six, runner at first, 2 outs, a lefty-lefty sequence now. It'll be A.J. Minter for Atlanta, Cody Bellinger for the Dodgers.
And for A.J., his ERA on the road is about less than half of what it is at home. It's in the low 2s on the road. And the thing that he needs to start, you hope that he starts improving on, is his average against by lefties. They're hitting at about a 235 clip. And with his stuff, it could be better.
His stuff in San Diego last time out was electric. I'll explain after the first pitch. Pitch is taken for a strike. He was one foul ball away from an immaculate inning. 3 strikeouts on 9 pitches. He also threw a ball in that final sequence, but did strike out the side against the Padres. And now he's facing Bellinger, who has the second highest at-bat total for the Dodgers against left-handed pitchers and the most strikeouts among the LA offensive players. Bellinger hitting just .206 against lefties, 22 strikeouts and 68 at-bats against them. So get this guy and don't face Puig with 2 on and 2 out. The 1-1 pitch. Missed his spot, but got the inside corner call.
Sure did. Got Bellinger to freeze.
AJ's got one he likes. He's ahead in the count. Two balls, 2 strikes.
He's throwing a cutter to the outside part of the plate, if that, and then it's cutting off the plate. And the left-handed hitters are not offering at it. More to the middle of the plate, then have it break to the outside, kind of like Moylan did to Kemp a minute ago.
3-2 pitch. Runner at first goes, and it is cut on and missed. And Bellinger strikes out on what might have been ball 4. Minter and Moylan come in and strike out Kemp and Bellinger, and they protect a 4-2 lead. In the middle of the inning, it's the 7th inning stretch presented by Advance Auto Parts. Joe and Chip with you along with Kelsey Wingert in Los Angeles. That's Scott Alexander, the 4th Dodger pitcher to work tonight. He's a ground ball specialist and is in his 26th game.
Fastball slider change, fastball the low 90s. Again, a lot of walks in there, but brought in to face the top of the order.
Alexander, a former Kansas City Royal, appeared in 58 games with KC last year. Anibal Sanchez, another terrific outing tonight for Atlanta. 2 runs in his 5 1/3 innings, and he leads. And a line drive off the bat of Dansby Swanson's headed for the warning track in left center field. Kemp got to it as quickly as he could, but not fast enough, as Dansby Swanson's on base for the 3rd time tonight. And finally, Joe, the number 2 spot in the order for the Braves is productive. He's aboard again in front of Freddie Freeman.
Well, stay hot, kid. He's not missing anything in the middle of the plate. Had a great at bat earlier tonight where he went to right field with 1 out, got a little rally started, came around to score a run. Let's hope this leads to a run.
The Braves have been very productive, as you know, in the final 3 innings of a game. Let's see if that continues. They could use some insurance, leading by 2. Freeman has a couple of hits and has scored a run, and he jumps on the first one and drives it to center. Here comes Swanson to third. They're going to wave him, and then he slams on the brakes. Peterson got to it quickly, and Bellinger cuts it off. So Alexander's greeted rudely. A 3-hit night for Freeman, a 2-hit night for Swanson, and Atlanta has runners at the corners with nobody out.
Breaking ball out away from Freddie. Does what he does best, hitting that ball into left center. But Peterson got to it quickly on a good hop and got rid of it right away. Good job by the Dodgers center fielder.
So old reliable Nick Markakis up again, a double and a run scored back in the 2nd. This is his third at bat with runners in scoring position tonight. See if he can bring home Dansby from third at the least. The pitch is in for a strike. Freeman and Markakis have done such great damage against left-handed pitchers all year. They've done that tonight. They have 4 of Atlanta's 12 hits combined. And way outside evens the count.
Yeah, Freddie's got 3 now. Charlie Culberson's got 3 also.
Braves have seen Alexander before. It was 2 years ago. He pitched 3 scoreless innings of relief May 15th against Atlanta in a 4-2 Royals win in 13 innings. And a shot the other way. A base hit will score Swanson. Nick Markakis with a big run scoring hit. 3 straight hits for Atlanta, and the fun again starting in the 7th inning. The Braves make it 5-2.
Yeah, we just showed those numbers about where they rank in this from the 7th inning on. And right after that, Nick gets a pitch up, takes it the other way. RBI number 43 for him. And Tyler steps in. He's got 3 driven in tonight
on 2 hits. So how nice is this? Atlanta with 5 runs on 13 hits again tonight. The 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 hitters for the Braves. Very, very productive. No balls and a strike for the Braves catcher. It's a homecoming of sorts for Scott Alexander, who played college ball at Pepperdine and then transferred to Sonoma State. He's out of Santa Rosa, California. And his brother Jason pitches in the Angels organization now. And was also great on Seinfeld. Swing and a miss for Flowers. There's the first out of the inning. And here's Charlie Culberson.
Made some good pitches there on Tyler. All fastballs, it looked like.
Well, there's only one thing better than going 3 for 3, and that's going 4 for 4. High hopper hit right behind the second base bag. There's 1, there's 2. And after Atlanta got 3 consecutive hits and added a run, Alexander gets out of the mess. 5-2 Atlanta in game 2. It's time for the stretch. Add-on runs are so important. The Braves now a 3-run lead for A.J. Minter, who will work the bottom of the 7th now.
Yeah, they've kind of single run them to death tonight, but the Braves have left some men on base, had chances to really blow it open. But it's nice to have that 3-run lead back.
The inning starts with Puig, Grandal, and Peterson to follow. Puig has scored one of the 2 Dodger runs, and he takes high for ball 1. Everybody else is done in the big leagues tonight. Braves and Dodgers, the last game still ongoing on Saturday night. And taken low, ball 2. No walks. If they get hit, so be it, but don't walk Puig and company. There's thunder up and down this Dodger lineup. They're not good enough for a strike. 2-1.
Just taking all the way.
Fisted down the right field line, and that's in for a base hit. That'll take a right turn and bounce off the wall. It's a bloop double for Puig, and that's how the home 7th starts. Markakis was lined up, ready to make the play and hold him to a single, but that ball had a ton of spin on it.
Well, he would have had a chance to throw him out because Puig was never going to stop. Cutter, he just fought it off and dumped it in there, and you can see him really hustling out of the box. Right here, that spin shoots it right over off the wall. No chance for Nick on that.
So Grandal will turn around and hit right-handed here. He has struck out twice. Those strikeouts were against Sanchez. And he's swinging a miss.
.234 hitter right-handed, .254 left-handed. All 11 homers have been hit left-handed.
Big lead for Puig at second. The pitch catches a corner. 0-2.
97 on the corner works pretty well.
Shane Carl is up in the Atlanta pen. Fought that off.
Grandal knows he throws a cutter. Puig was able to fight it off. I think I'd stay with the fastball, run it away, see if he will go after something off the plate.
Out of play.
Cutter instead.
One more game with LA out west tomorrow. The Braves won't see the Dodgers again until late July. They come to town for a 4-game series starting the 26th. The 0-2 is sharply hit. Dansby dives, makes the play, holds the runner, fires to first. Perfect outcome for Atlanta there. 1 out.
Said last night that Dansby's playing some pretty good shortstop. Well, his bat has come around too. He is hot, but he's making all the plays at short. That was a beauty.
Dave Roberts won't let Jock Peterson face the lefty here, so it's Kike Hernandez coming on to pinch hit. We saw Hernandez play some center field last night. Runner at second, 1 out now. And Minter missed upstairs.
Peterson just 3 for 19 against left-handed pitching. Surprisingly, only 2 strikeouts. But he gets lifted.
Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Rolled toward third. Camargo looks Puig back, fires to first 1, and now Puig will take the bag, but the Dodgers have 2 outs. Good base running there by Puig. Took advantage of the long throw across the diamond to move up. Now a ball in the dirt might steal the Dodgers a run with 2 outs.
Smart play by Camargo. Take the out.
And now Logan Forsythe, the final hope for Los Angeles. On my count, the Dodgers are 0 for 4 tonight with runners in scoring position. Ground ball out got on their second run. Their first came on a first inning homer. The pitch. Right there, a strike. That's been a strike all night long. If the inning continues, Austin Barnes is on deck. The Braves want to see him or someone else leading off the 8th. Got him way behind in the count. Can AJ finish him off and pitch around the leadoff Puig double?
That was a good cutter. It looks like a slider because it moves quite a bit.
There's the ball in the dirt, and Puig will come home to make it 5-3. So AJ throws one in the dirt with a 2-strike count, and Puig saunters home, scoring his second run of the night.
This is like an 0-2 base hit, giving up an 0-2 hit with a guy at third base. That wasn't even close. Tyler took that off the midsection too. Might have missed his chest protector.
So the Braves give their 7th run right back to LA. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now it's 2-2. And the inning is over.
What a shame.
Minter strikes out a couple of guys in an inning and a third, but a wild pitch brings the Dodgers to within 2. We go to the 8th.
Hot dogs, lucky jerseys, homemade signs, and bringing the whole family to cheer on the Dodgers.
Jesse Biddle pitched last night, and it's been a fun trip on the West Coast for him, mostly because his brother Connor lives out here and he has a job with Perk. So his brother Connor is a production assistant on Jesse's all-time favorite show, Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So his brother brought him out to the set for the last 2 days, let him meet some of the crew on the show and watch them film a little bit of it. He told me this was no doubt his favorite show of all time. He said the cast was absolutely grilling him with quizzes, and he did mention that he crushed it. So, you know, some may say you get cool perks as a professional baseball player, Chip and Joe, but I think Jesse Biddle would point at his brother for that.
Great story, Kelsey. Thank you very much. I'm sure a great day for Jesse Biddle.
Looks like a natural.
This is Edward Paredes. He's pitching in his third game for the Dodgers. 31 years young. Made his big league debut last year, and he had Ender backing away from ball one. Kike Hernandez, as we expected, remains in the game playing center field for Los Angeles. Ender 0 for 3 tonight. Leading off the Braves' 8th. And he hung in there that time, but swung and missed. 1-1 the count.
Good breaking ball there from Paredes.
Dodgers shade Ender way around toward left. And that served out a play foul. A ball and 2 strikes. If Paredes hangs a breaking ball and Ender hits it to right center, he will run forever. Look at the space between Puig and Kike Hernandez in the Dodger outfield.
Like it.
Camargo and a pinch hitter to follow, it would appear, for the Braves in the 8th. Leading 5-3 the pitch. Struck him out. There's that floater. It was up in the zone, and Enciarte retired. He's 0 for 4 tonight.
Third baseman number 17, Johan Camargo.
I think Johan will get him. Fastball's 89-91. Tries to drop that curveball down and in on Camargo. He might hit it in the seats.
Well, this is the inning he did it last night. Wasn't in the seats. It was out by the speakers in center. Straightaway center field home run last night. That's way outside, even count.
Two in a row out there. I think you can look for something else.
Popped up. Grandal avoids the bat. Bellinger comes in and helps him out. And Johan's retired, 2 outs. And Peter Borges grabs the bat. He'll come on and pinch hit.
It was a nice job by Bellinger there to come in that far to make that catch.
Peter Borges.
A.J. Minter goes an inning and a third. 1 hit, 1 run, 2 strikeouts, no walks. Will it be Carl or Winkler for the 8th inning? Looks like Dan is up and throwing. So he appears to be next when the Dodgers come up here in the 8th. It's 5-3 Atlanta. The Braves have out hit LA 13-4 tonight. Anibal Sanchez, terrific. In back-to-back starts for the Braves, has a chance to beat LA for the first time in his career if Atlanta can get 6 more outs with the lead. Curled around the plate. 2 balls and a strike. Approaching 9 o'clock Pacific time in Los Angeles. Quick turnaround tomorrow for Game 3. Newcomb and Stripling will be the hurlers, and a fly ball drilled toward left center field. Kike on the run, won't get it. It's off the wall. The ball ricochets back toward the infield. Borges on his way to third, and he'll stand there with 2 outs.
That was an outfielder's worst nightmare. You chase one to the wall, you don't get it, it comes off hard, and Peter Borges is running. Hernandez just into the game, tried to throw on the brakes, kind of overran that one a little bit, and Peter was off to the races.
Good thing Matt Kemp got to that one. He did. Otherwise, Peter might have circled the bases and scored. Instead, he's 90 feet away with a big insurance run potentially, and Ozzie Albies the hitter. This would be a great time for Ozzie to break out of it. And Dave Roberts not going to let him swing the bat right-handed. He again will go to his bullpen. A bullpen that the Dodgers are using liberally. Daniel Hudson was the man getting warm. Looks like Hudson will get the call. Runner at third, 2 outs in the Atlanta 8th. It's 5-3 Braves in front. Is coming to Fox and FS1 with every match live and over 300 hours of coverage. The world's biggest sporting event is now just 5 days away, and it's only on Fox and FS1. Well, this is Daniel Hudson. Not his first rodeo in the big leagues. 19th game with the Dodgers with mixed reviews.
Well, he made a start the other day. How about that? He started that game in Pittsburgh where they used 9 different pitchers. He was the starting guy out of the, as one of the bullpen guys, one of the relievers. Mid-90s fastball, slider, changeup. of those big runs at third base.
And a foul ball off the bat of Albies, who is 0 for 4 tonight.
He is so due.
Braves are 7 for 15 with runners in scoring position, but they've got just 5 runs. And so far, that's been enough. Strike one. Hudson out of the stretch. Borges at third, and then almost hit him. Did he swing? Yes, he did. Alan Porter with the call to third base. That's twice tonight that Albies has had a ball in on him. He's had an awkward swing and couldn't stop the bat head.
That one was hard to call even for Angel Hernandez. That's why he asked for help.
About one in the dirt right here. The pitch. Way too high.
Ozzie appears to be trying to start too soon. He's getting out there a little bit. When you're scuffling a little bit, that's one of the things that you tend to do is rush out there to get the fastball instead of seeing the ball and let it come to you. Good cut there.
So how do you stop that?
You just got to make yourself see the ball first. See the ball, then react, and not take your stride and get your weight shifted to your front foot before the ball's even released.
And can't imagine how hard that is with a man throwing 96 miles an hour like Hudson is.
All the more reason to slow down.
Runner at third, 2 outs, a ball and 2 strikes. That's where teams have gone to get him. And a couple of good takes here from the Braves second baseman. Now he's back in the count, 2-2.
Yeah, that was 97. About chin high.
The pitch. Now it's 3-2. Dansby Swanson's got a 2-hit 3-run night. He's on deck. And it's Freeman and Markakis. Dangerous part of the Atlanta lineup now with Borges at third and a 2-run Atlanta lead. Here it is. Did he go? Angel Hernandez rings him up at the plate. And Ozzie can't believe it. Angel Hernandez did not appeal. Ozzie is struck out and Borges left stranded 90 feet away. It's 5-3 Atlanta, home 8th coming up.
by sharing a photo or video with hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Dan Winkler's on for Atlanta to work the bottom of the 8th inning. He'll have the 9, 1, and 2 hitters for Los Angeles. Dan Winkler certainly deserving of all-star consideration after his first 27 games this year.
Gave up an earned run down in San Diego his last time up and snapped a 19-game streak that covered 16 1/3 innings. He has been outstanding.
Austin Barnes leads off and takes a strike. That ERA for Winkler, the 7th best among all relievers in baseball this year. And he's given up just 6 hits to right-handed hitters who have struck out 23 of 55 tries against the Braves right-hander. 1 ball, 1 strike. Barnes, Taylor, Muncy, the first 3 for Los Angeles. He spun out of that delivery and missed badly up and away. 2-1. Now it's 2-2. Barnes, another California kid out of Riverside. Catcher and infielder. Came over from the Marlins. With Chris Hatcher and Kiki Hernandez for D. Gordon. Miguel Rojas, Cash, and Dan Herron.
Wow.
So Winkler back in the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Oh, baby.
That is the first one that Angel hasn't called a strike. 3-2. Awfully good take. And fouled off.
Make him swing it.
With a screen. Barnes has a little bit of Craig Biggio in him. By that I mean he can catch and play second base. And he's good at both spots. Wouldn't surprise me to see him behind the plate tomorrow in the series wrap-up.
I wonder if we'll see Justin Turner. Might see him tonight. It's all over.
8th pitch, and Winkler wins the battle. Barnes is down on strikes, and to the top of the order we go, and Chris Taylor with 1 out.
Number 3,
Little cutter just off the plate. Barnes couldn't afford to take it.
So Winkler continues his great work against right-handers. Here's another one. Taylor tonight 0 for 3. He's up to 70 strikeouts this year. He's popped out and flied out. And he's going to hit a line drive into right center that Ender will play on a hop. So Taylor wasn't going to get to 2 strikes. And he will bring the potential tying run to the plate in the form of Max Muncy, who's already homered and has walked twice. Almost hit him. 1 ball, no strikes. Muncy has hit into only one double play. Barnes struck out on 8 pitches. Taylor hit the first one into center, and now it's 1-0. And now it's ball 2. Eleven homers for the Dodger third baseman. He's way ahead in the count, 2-0. And he was swinging for number 12 right there, didn't get it.
One of the things that we were told about Muncy in his scouting report was that he learns and he adjusts. If you pitch him one way, he will be ready and be alerted to that and adjust to it. If you get him out another way, he will learn from that he is very sharp, good baseball IQ, and like I said last night, a baseball player.
2 balls and a strike. That split the dish. It's 2-2.
You might remember last night his home run was to the opposite field.
And not a cheapie. None of them were for the Dodgers last night.
And then halfway up the bleachers in right field in the first inning tonight.
The 2-2 pitch. Well, foul. We'll do it again. This is how Muncy's night started way back in the first off Anibal Sanchez.
Get a mistake pitch, change up that was left upstairs. And it was a no-doubter.
A 6th home run LA has hit in this series. The 2-2 is low, full count. Matt Kemp is on deck. After a base hit his first time up, Kemp has gone 0 for since. Taylor leads at first. Not going, and it's ball 4 inside. So the tying runs are on. Kemp is coming up. 2 on, 1 out.
That pitch is kind of like the pitch Minter made. 0-2. He threw a cutter, threw it in the dirt badly, well in front of home plate. Wild pitch, run scores. He didn't want to make a mistake there to Muncy, who's already hit 2 home runs in this series. He was trying to throw that fastball in and almost hit him. I mean, it's like an exaggeration of not making a mistake.
So you've got Kemp in the box. He's 0 for 3. He's hitting to a double play. Nobody else up in the Atlanta pen at the moment. You've got the left-hand hitting Bellinger following Kemp.
Saw another attribute of Dan Winkler that I really respect too. Chuck Hernandez out to talk to him, and Dan was eyeball to eyeball with him, answering his questions, not looking down, pawing at the dirt. And boy, does that wild pitch and that run scored last inning loom big right now.
Yes, it does. Especially after it came on an 0-2 pitch. And Puig scored easily to cut the Braves' lead from 3 runs to 2. So here's Kemp. He's hit 10 homers. He's got a 7-game hit streak on the line, perhaps in this at bat. Fly ball center, no carry to it. On the first pitch, Kemp is the second out. But be careful with this guy.
And he got it off the end of the bat.
So here is Bellinger. He's homered in 4 straight games.
It was the cutter that just moved to the end of the bat. Just a little bit.
8 of Bellinger's 12 homers have come against right-handers. He has struck out his last 2 times up. 2 on, 2 outs now. The pitch pushed him off the plate. Ball 1. An 8-pitch strikeout. Part of the 18 pitches so far. One ball, no strikes. And downstairs, ball 2. Dodgers announced their 3rd sellout of the year tonight. 52,718 on Manny Mota bobblehead night. They have gotten their money's worth. Entertaining game. Braves hanging on in the 8th. The 2-0. Inside corner, got the call.
He's looking middle in. He's looking down. Typical left-handed hitter that likes the ball down. He will also chase down and in.
Got the high strike, and now Bellinger's turn to complain. That is a huge swing. Instead of a 3-1 count, it's now 2-2.
Shows a strike. Nice job by Tyler to frame it too.
Dave Roberts knows how big that pitch was. So where does Winkler go to try to finish him off?
Go upstairs again. That's where he chased last time up against Minter.
The 2-2 pitch. He just did foul it off, and you're right, Joe, it was up.
Well, you know he's not going to get cheated. He's going to take a full cut at whatever you bring. That's why I was saying up, but up out of the zone. After getting that high strike called, he's not going to leave anything to chance, even if it's out of the zone.
So another 2-2. Instead, a look at second. Now Dan's ready. Here comes his 2-2 pitch. And that's bounced into the Braves dugout. What a play.
That Seitzer?
That was Sal Fasano. Former catcher, you know. Of course he grabbed it.
He's nodding like ain't nothing.
Nicely done. Battle continues here. Taylor at second, Muncy at first. They represent the tying runs. The pitch. Did he go? Yes, he did. Bellinger called out by Angel Hernandez on a check swing.
Well, Ozzie can relate to that one because he just had the same thing done to him. No appeal made.
And the Dodgers strand 2 in the 8th. Atlanta by 2. Braves scored the second run of the game, and then Joe added on in the 3rd, 5th, and 7th behind excellent pitching tonight. Starter Anibal Sanchez first in line for that.
Yeah, the offensive breakout really hasn't conveyed into a ton of runs. They have 5, and it should be enough to win. But they've left a lot of guys on base tonight. 7, 8 guys on base tonight so far, and still have the lead.
So the Dodgers go to their bullpen yet again.
There's somebody not on my roster. Must have just called him up.
Yep, Daniel Corsino is the man on the mound in the 9th inning. And he's got a tough frame ahead. Swanson, Freeman, and Markakis. Barnes stays in the game to play second. Forsythe moves to first. Bellinger out of the game. And Dansby greeted with a high tight pitch. 1 ball, no strikes. Excellent game for Swanson tonight. First with the glove, but also with the bat. After hitting the ball hard virtually every time up last night, Dansby rewarded with a 2-hit, 3-run game. He's also stolen a base. And why is Dansby's night so important? Well, for now, he's the most logical choice to try to hit second for the Braves. Those number 2 hitters entered tonight's play 4 for their last 40. Dansby 2 for 4 in tonight's game alone. And the Big Boppers have driven him home. It's in for a strike, 1 and 2. Corsino, 27 years old, out of the Dominican Republic. And he almost drilled Dansby again. He was signed by the Reds originally. Got to the big leagues in 2014 for 5 games. Went back to the minor leagues. All the way down to Class A ball, and then last year was with the Cubs organization briefly. Two balls, 2 strikes, and Dansby lifts one to left. That's playable for Matt Kemp, and he's there for the first out.
Just missed it.
Here's Freddie Freeman. Freddie with a 3-hit night. Two through 6 on the lineup card was awfully good tonight for Kevin Seitzer's offense. 2 hits for Dansby, 3 for Freeman, 2 for Markakis, 2 for Flowers, 3 hits for Charlie Culberson.
That's why you like it.
Yeah. 14 Atlanta hits, 5 Braves runs. Downstairs for Freddie.
Talked about it before the game about needing those table setters to start getting on base, and while Ozzie had a rough night, Dansby did not. Dansby got on, scored 3 times.
Freddie's enjoying his 5th 3-hit game of the year. He has a 4-hit and a 5-hit game as well. 25 multi-hit games this year. Nick Markakis has 27, and he's on deck. Well, another run somehow, some way would really be welcome here. Puig, Grandal, and Hernandez coming up in the bottom of the 9th. The pitch. That was a good one. 1 and 2. Freddie reached for that one and popped it into left. Kemp got a good read on it, and near the line makes the play for the second out.
22, Nick Markakis.
Good night tonight for Markakis. A double, a run, a single, and an RBI. Old reliable. Now with 84 hits on the year and 3 for 8 in this series. Line to center, but Hernandez is there, and that retires the side. Corsino with a 3-up, 3-down, top of the ninth. Arodys Vizcaíno will try to save it for Sanchez. It's 5-3 Atlanta. Dodgers 3. Arodys Vizcaíno is the man in the center of the diamond. He'll have Puig, Grandal, and Kike Hernandez coming up.
Looking for his 11th save. Last time he was out there was before this road trip started. Did not pitch in San Diego. His last outing was on the 3rd of June against Washington, when he picked up a win on the walk-off by Charlie Culberson. Plenty of rest. Let's hope there's not rust.
Well, the trio of Puig, Grandal, and Hernandez are a combined 0 for 8 lifetime against Arodys with a couple of strikeouts. He has 2 runs to play with. Puig tonight is 2 for 3. He scored 2 of the 3 Dodger runs. That gives him 15 runs scored in 26 career games against Atlanta pitching. The first guy in a 2-run game, so critically important. Let's see if Vizcaíno can take care of Puig. And a bouncing ball on the first pitch into center. The answer to that is no. And LA brings the tying run to the plate. And here's Grandal coming off a 2-homer game last night.
Well, I'm not sure, but it looks to me like Dave Roberts got Yasiel Puig's attention. He's had a good night. 3 for 4.
A double play would be nice. Grandal 0 for 3. And that's sunk too low. Ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Ground ball, might be 2. There's 1. There's 2. Just what the doctor ordered. 2 outs.
Big ground ball. Good turn again. The guys up the middle tonight have been outstanding.
Puig never even got to second base. That's how fast Dansby got rid of that baseball. And now the Braves are an out away from splitting the first 2 games. Kike Hernandez, the batter, he's 0 for 1 and takes low, ball 1. So that quiets this sellout crowd. In fact, many of them start to head for the exits to get an early jump on the Saturday night traffic. That was always one of Dad's favorite shots at Dodger Stadium. Close game late. See all those taillights.
The proverbial palm tree shot right there.
Yep.
And the taillights.
There they are. 1-1 pitch. And now the Braves are a strike away. That went in at 98 miles an hour. Atlanta a strike away from staying in first with the Nationals, who won earlier today. And the pitch. Bounces up there, and no chance for Flowers to get that. 2-2.
Tried to throw him off by quick pitching him a little bit.
Newcomb and Stripling tomorrow. 4:10 first pitch. Braves live at 3:30 Eastern time. And the Braves come home beginning Tuesday night against the Mets. The 2-2 pitch. Little tapper over the mound. Ozzie charges, gloves, grabs, guns, and the Braves win it 5-3. More great work up the middle by Ozzie Albies. And the Braves somehow, some way get it done tonight. 5 runs on 14 hits. The save for Vizcaíno and a milestone win, Joe, for Anibal Sanchez. His first all-time against the Dodgers.
Isn't that great? He certainly deserves it. He pitched a great ball game. Offense came through with a lot of hits, some clutch hitting, and excellent defense up the middle. That was beautiful.
So a chance for Atlanta to win the series outright tomorrow behind Sean Newcomb. Braves win game 2 by a 5-3 final score. A lot of great offense to talk about and super starting pitching as well. We'll break down game 2 of our series in Los Angeles coming up next on Braves Live, presented by Xfinity. For Joe Simpson, Kelsey Wingert, and our crew, Chip Carey. There's your final. Braves 5, Dodgers 3. The postgame show's coming right up.